And now, it is time for Real News Now. Your source for news presented by the Voices on the Net Network. Here's your host, JJ.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Real News Now, right here on the Voices on the Net Network. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me. Got a great news segment ahead for you. An interesting news segment ahead for you, as it is official. The nation's largest cable TV provider, Comcast, has taken control of NBC Universal. Yes, that is right, and we all know, as per the government trammeling its behavior of NBC Universal over the coming years to really protect online video streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu, etc. It's been a very prevalent way to view media. However, Comcast has decided that it wants to delve into this arena. What does that mean for the future, though? What does that mean for competition advantages pertaining to other cable operators out there? What does that mean for the competitive value? Well, we're going to talk about that during this segment. Anyhow, cable giant Comcast, as well as American conglomerate General Electric, announced Saturday that their merger deal for NBC Universal was complete. Anyhow, the FCC and the Department of Justice Tuesday approved this $30 billion deal, however, established meddling conditions constructed to ensure that Comcast will not take advantage of other rival competitors, providers. More details to follow in a moment. Comcast will manage the company as they own 51% of the deal, of the ownership stake. General Electric owns 49% of the stake. Now, NBC Universal is known for its peacock logo. And I want to bring this up briefly because it's no longer going to be the case. Yeah, we're going to have to say bye-bye to the peacock logo and say hi to the new NBC Universal logo. That's NBC without a space between Universal and NBC. So there are clearly many larger possibilities that may and can ensue from this major deal. However, when we talk about this peacock logo going away, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to miss this, okay? It's not only nostalgic to check out something that has literally lived with us for over decades and decades and decades, but, what's wrong with keeping it, in the logo? Well, anyhow, Comcast, or those associated, feel that adding NBC Universal without the space in between NBC and Universal will represent the unity of the company's divisions. I won't go into how I feel about that, but I think you know how I feel about that, and I know how all of you must feel about it as well. Anyhow, Comcast will pay, I want to go over some numbers here, General Electric around $6.5 billion in cash, as well as to bestow a certain amount of its programming assets, such as E! Entertainment and the Golf Channel, which is worth $7.25 billion to the joint proposition. Comcast, being the largest cable provider in the United States and one of the largest around the world, as well as the largest home internet service provider in the United States of America, obviously being in majority control of NBC Universal, is also in control of more than just that. In other words, they control what we watch. They're in control of one of the largest entertainment establishments in the world, okay? 23 million subscribers, the last time I heard, for Comcast, okay? We talk about Cox. We talk about Dish Network. We talk about DirecTV. They have a smidgen of what Comcast has. Anyhow, GE stake in NBC Universal fell to 49% from 80%. However, over the next 7 years, they plan to depreciate that to zero by being paid out from the venture. GE, however, bought a 20% stake from France's Vivendi SA for $5.8 billion to complete the deal. However, that's going to slowly go to zero over the next 7 years, as Comcast will become the sole owner of NBC Universal. Now, we know that NBC Universal encompasses NBC, which is the fourth ranked of the four major U.S. broadcast networks in the United States. However, It is the oldest. Now, the merger compounds Comcast's cable networks along with NBC's broadcast network, as well as known cable networks USA, MSNBC, Bravo, and the Weather Channel. Now, I know a lot of you follow these channels. What is that going to mean if you have Cox? What is that going to mean if you have Dish Network? What is that going to mean if you have DirecTV? You're not going to get these? Well, the FCC and the Justice Department, the Department of Justice, imposed certain conditions that restricts Comcast from doing anything along those lines, from taking these channels away from other competitor cable providers. However, after the several years is up, don't be surprised if you lose them. Comcast may want everybody to come over to their side. You never know, right? Anyhow, we talk a bit about Hulu.com right here, as this has been brought up a lot due to this massive deal, and it isn't out of the ordinary that many people are concerned that their precious ad-supporting streaming service can cost money someday. Yep, that is right. We think about the multi-owned Hulu.com, which is now owned by Comcast and a 32% stake ownership of Hulu, as well as News Corp, Walt Disney, and Providence Equity Partners. Comcast and NBC Universal can, however, maintain a financial stake in the site. When I mentioned that, the FCC and the Department of Justice stated that they cannot retain management power for the next several years over Hulu.com. With that being said, though, financial stake, that can overtake managerial, if you know what I mean. I mean, money can buy a lot, right? It just kind of concerns a lot of us that Comcast is taking this power scheme and really scaring a lot of people. A lot of people. Now, I'm a Comcast subscriber. Are you? If you're not, do you have something to be concerned about? Anyhow, Assistant Attorney General Christine Varney mentioned that this move was necessary. The move to the move to relinquish the managerial position power from Comcast over Hulu.com, and I quote, Comcast cannot use NBCU's partial ownership of Hulu to diminish its competitive significance. So in other words, they want competition, and I don't blame them. I would too. Competition is not a bad thing. It is a good thing. Anyhow, surely we knew that The Office and 30 Rock, which were owned by NBC Universal, now owned by Comcast, would have to either leave the other networks like Cox and Dish Network and DirecTV, or, thanks to the FCC and the Department of Justice, imposing these conditions that they do not have to be removed from other competitor cable providers yet. However, this is really what we're leading up to right here. After several years, what is Comcast going to be doing? What do they want to do? What do they have plans to do? Well, if you're thinking in the minds of Comcast, they want everybody to turn to their side. They would rather be the lone major superpower cable provider. They've really relished that role for some time, having over 23 million customers. But what's wrong with having 30 million or 40 million or 60 million or more than that? Well, I hear it. I could hear it calling. Could be a whole new ball game soon. Anyhow, I thank you for checking out Real News Now. I'm JJ. This is the Voices on the Net Network. Take care, everyone.